Do you catch yourself spiraling after a text is left unread with no response? Or do you divulge all sorts of intimate details about yourself on a first date? Or maybe you start to feel scared when you get close to someone and find yourself pulling away. If any of this feels familiar, you probably know deep down why relationships are so difficult to navigate. It's because love can hurt. And if you have complex PTSD, when love first arrived in your life, it came with fear, control, silence, or worse. When the people who were supposed to protect you caused the most harm, love and fear became inseparably linked. And now you either cling too tightly or push people away before they get the chance to hurt you. Broken relationships are truly one of the most harmful, long-lasting results of childhood trauma. But it doesn't have to be permanent. You can learn how to build healthy relationships and heal the broken parts of you. I'm serious about this. Attachment styles can change and evolve as you become healthier. You really can learn how to do this. So this video will walk you through 5 clear stages to rebuild secure attachment, even if your early relationships taught you to expect pain. This is also you can stop settling for the wrong partners or friends and start setting boundaries and finally feel safe being loved. Esther Perel said, "Tell me how you were loved and I'll tell you how you love." Your early relationships really strongly influence your love maps, how you give and receive love, what feels normal, comfortable, or loving to you. The most damaging aspect of childhood trauma is how it harms your ability to have safe and healthy relationships as an adult. Toxic families teach through example that love and abuse are usually connected. They teach that you don't deserve to be treated well, or that you'll be punished for speaking up for yourself. They send the message that you'll never feel safe or loved, so you might as well settle. Hurtful behavior often gets normalized by our sweet child minds. You might think, this is just what families do, or I probably made them act this way. Now, because things are unpredictable, your brain gets wired to expect danger, and your nervous system gets primed to get stuck in anxiety. And every relationship interaction is your teacher here. You will get literally millions of chances to practice this throughout your life. So let's first look at how trauma harms our ability to have healthy relationships, and then we'll talk about 5 stages to rebuild secure attachment and find truly healthy relationships. In complex PTSD, childhood trauma disrupts healthy attachment. So here's 7 common ways it shows up in relationships. Difficulty trusting others. So growing up in an unpredictable or unsafe environment can make it hard to trust that people will keep their word or have your best interests at heart. As an adult, this might look like suspicion of partners, or expecting betrayal, or needing constant reassurance. Number 2 is fear of abandonment or rejection. So if a child experienced neglect or loss or inconsistent caregiving, they may internalize that fear that loved ones will leave. And later this can lead to clinginess, jealousy, or panicking when someone pulls away, even if it's just briefly. Okay, number 3 is people-pleasing and over-functioning. Children who learned to survive by anticipating others' moods may grow into adults who ignore their own needs to keep peace. They might chronically overextend themselves, struggle to say no, or feel guilty for having boundaries. Number 4, emotional dysregulation. Trauma disrupts the nervous system. In adulthood, stress can trigger outsized reactions, anger outbursts, withdrawal, or shutting down. And this can make it difficult to resolve conflict calmly, which then creates these cycles of chaos in relationships. Shame and low self-worth. If a child grew up feeling unwanted, criticized, or invisible, they might internalize beliefs like, I'm not lovable. As adults, they may tolerate mistreatment or settle for unhealthy relationships, or just struggle to believe compliments or sabotage relationships when things feel too good. Next up is recreating familiar patterns. Unresolved trauma often pulls people back into dynamics that feel familiar, even if they're really unhealthy. So for example, someone with a controlling parent may end up with a controlling partner because it feels normal. And then the other pattern we see is overcompensating for family patterns. So if you hated the home you grew up in, you might try to do the opposite, but this can lead to overcompensating. So for example, if your family was run by alcoholics, you might have become rigidly controlling with your healthy routines or work. If they were extremely religious and shame-based, you might pendulum to an extreme openness to drugs or sex, like a no-shame approach to life that also isn't healthy. Overcompensating is an attempt to not repeat the past, but it's usually done from a reaction to unhealed emotions, and that can just lead to really unhealthy patterns and new wounds. Okay, so there are so many ways that repeated trauma in childhood damages our relationships as adults. But when you can see the patterns, you can do something about them. So I'm excited to share with you how to do that in just a minute. But first, let's spend just a moment on attachment styles. So childhood abuse can make it really difficult to find healthy relationships as an adult. So we often see unhealthy patterns show up as 3 attachment styles. Number 1 is anxious attachment. You crave closeness, but you often worry about being rejected or abandoned. And this can look like trying to change others, trying to change yourself to be loved, trying to be perfect so that the other person doesn't get upset, constantly pursuing them to get them to show you love, or like excessive reassurance seeking. Now, sometimes this is called codependency, and often people get stuck in unhealthy relationships that continue to mistreat or abuse. Okay, the second style is avoidant attachment. This looks like withdrawal. So closeness feels really scary because vulnerability just led to pain in the past. So this can result in keeping relationships surface level, pushing partners away, or like shutting emotions down when deeper emotions come up. Maybe you rarely share emotion, or you don't let people see your joys or pains. And in the end, you end up feeling lonely and distant. The third maladaptive attachment style is disorganized attachment. People with disorganized attachment may desperately want closeness, but also fear it. And this leads to like a push-pull dynamic in relationships. So they often feel conflicted, mistrustful, and unsure how to get their needs met safely. It's common to see a pattern of diving like quickly and intensely into a relationship without knowing if that person is safe or not. And then it just blows up later. By the way, people with a secure attachment style are comfortable with closeness and independence. They trust that others will be supportive. They can both give and receive love in healthy, balanced ways. Now, secure attachment doesn't mean that you always feel safe and you always feel happy and you never fight, right? Secure attachment means that you're able to work through fights or differences in a healthy way. So how can you rebuild healthy, secure attachment even if it wasn't modeled for you? This is a slow and gradual process. There are no quick fixes, but there are fixes. Relationships are always there to be your teacher, and they provide some of the most powerful settings for neuroplasticity to happen. In everyday moments, through hugs, eye contact, laughter, or play, our brains release oxytocin. This is the bonding chemical that supports connection and regulation. Now, as children, we were meant to co-regulate with a parent. Their touch, their gaze, their heartbeat, and breath should have calmed us, teaching our nervous system how to self-soothe. But if no one helped us settle when we were upset, we may not have developed strong emotional regulation skills. The good news is that every experience of safety helps rewire the brain. Consistent signals like a gentle tone, kind eyes, and predictable behavior activate the parasympathetic system, shifting us out of stress and into calm. This downregulation creates the conditions for neuroplasticity, teaches the brain, I am safe now. So in adulthood, caring partners or friends can model calmness, they can offer comfort, and they can stay present when we're dysregulated. Over time, our nervous system borrows their regulation until those patterns become internalized, literally rewiring the brain to self-soothe. So here's the big question. How do you do it? Like on a practical level, if most of your relationships have blown up, or you just don't feel safe, or you're just not connected to anyone beyond the surface level, how do you start to build healthy attachment? First thing is go slow. Don't dive headfirst into a deep emotional or physical relationship. You will not find healthy people that way. Instead, go slow and carefully choose safe, emotionally available people, and then practice testing relationships slowly over time rather than rushing in or shutting down. Healthy relationships take time to build trust and deepen closeness. So take time to build a quality relationship. But where, you may ask? This is where the therapeutic relationship comes in. So working with a therapist can help you practice building secure attachments outside of therapy. A therapist should treat you with compassion, understanding, and clear boundaries. They'll give you feedback with care, and they'll help you learn how to stay connected through conflict or while expressing emotional pain. And this can lead to the realization or the rewiring of your brain that one's feelings and experiences are acceptable and worthwhile. This therapeutic connection can become a transitional, earned, secure attachment. So it paves the way for similar relationships beyond therapy. In the description, I'll link where you can find a good therapist for you. Group therapy is another good place to build healthier relationships. You can combat shame and get to know people within the safe boundaries of a therapy group. You'll want to look for one that has clear rules and a wise leader who's experienced in group trauma therapy. Therapy can teach you how to open up and treat yourself with compassion and to set boundaries with others and help you differentiate between healthy, trustworthy people and those who are unsafe. Okay, number 3, reparenting. Practice healthy relationships by changing how you treat yourself. Self-reparenting is learning to give yourself the love, validation, protection, and guidance that you did not get in childhood. So let's just imagine that you grew up with parents who dismissed your feelings whenever you were upset. They would say things like, "Oh, stop crying, it's not a big deal." As an adult, when you feel sad or overwhelmed, you might still hear that inner critical voice telling you to get over it. Reparenting would mean noticing and pausing that critical voice and instead offering yourself the kind of response a nurturing parent would give. You could say to yourself something like, "It makes sense that you're sad right now. I'm here for you, and it's okay to take a moment to feel this." We usually relate to others the way we relate to ourselves, whether that's with fear or disdain or compassion and hope. Every time you practice treating yourself with compassion, or you set firm boundaries for yourself and you discipline yourself in a safe and kind way, you're practicing having healthy relationships. Okay, number 4, get a pet? Maybe. Okay, so for many people with childhood trauma, the process of rebuilding healthy relationships seems so far away that a pet is really a good way to start. So not only is it good practice at being consistent and loving, but a pet often gives unconditional love. It's excited to see you, which triggers that release of oxytocin, and that's the love hormone that helps build attachment and makes you feel safe and wanted. Now, a pet is not right for everyone, and it's not going to solve all your problems, but it might be a good stepping stone for some people. Okay, 5th is earned secure attachments. An earned secure attachment is a true friend or partner, someone who isn't paid to spend time with you, but truly likes you, and you each support each other. It's a healthy attachment that you develop after doing some healing work. This could be a friend, a coworker, or a partner. Now, not all earned secure attachments need to be at the deepest level of intimacy. You can have a true friend at work, but she might not need to know the deepest details of your life. Sometimes it's great to have a couple of good friends who you connect with on sports or music, but you only show them parts of yourself. Boundaries are a healthy thing here. So this means that you get to decide how much of yourself you share with them and how close you are to them. With good relationships, you'll also get to practice with healthy disagreement. Trauma often wires us to avoid conflict or explode in it. In healthy relationships, we get to practice repair, disagreeing, calming down, reconnecting. And each repair experience lays new neural tracks. It teaches our brain that conflict doesn't mean abandonment, and it can end in closeness. All right, we are all a work in progress when it comes to relationships. Friendships, marriages, working together, these are all wonderful opportunities to keep learning and growing. My last bit of advice is, as you build healthy attachment, is to keep a growth mindset. You're not going to do it all perfectly. Not all relationships will last. Other people will make mistakes, and you might hurt other people too sometimes. Learn to apologize and make repairs. Use these opportunities as a chance to grow. Don't believe the voices that tell you that you're broken, unlovable, or defective. These are skills that can be learned, not just on a cognitive level, but on a nervous system level. You'll get dozens of chances every day to interact with people and practice and heal. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Deep healing happens in relationships. If you've been through trauma, I'm going to encourage you to take small, safe risks in forming connections and learn to tolerate the vulnerability that comes with healthy closeness. As you do the work, you'll start to connect with healthier people, and you'll gradually notice that you're building longer-lasting, high-quality relationships. And you'll start to learn from experience that you are lovable and that some people really are trustworthy and safe. Okay, if you want to dive deeper, I've created several courses that can really help you learn these skills little by little. In the Grounding Skills course, you'll learn how to regulate your nervous system. In the How to Process Emotions course, you'll learn how to work through feelings and thoughts without being so reactive. And in the How to Process Trauma course, you'll learn some of the fundamentals of working through shame and rebuilding your internal sense of safety. All 10 of my courses are included in the membership for just $27 a month, and you can unsubscribe whenever you feel done. I'll make sure and put that link in the description. Hope you found this video helpful. If so, give it a thumbs up or share it so that other people can find it. Thanks for watching and take care.